So how do you create a brand that truly represents who you are and the products you sell, as well as building a business that you can scale online? That is what this podcast will help you do. My name is Henry Kaminski Jr., and welcome to the Brand Doctor Podcast.
Let me just make this statement loud and clear. Jersey's here, Jersey's here.
What's shaking, everybody? Welcome to another Brand Doctor Podcast recording. We are live streaming at the same time. Today is going to be a fun little discussion. I'm going to talk about how I got my second 2 Comma Club award this year and how that all went down. What the hell is a 2 Comma Club award? Why does it hold so much value or regard? And some of the biggest mistakes I made in the process of achieving my second 2 Comma Club award. So before we get started, guys, I just want to remind you guys, if you are struggling with your branding, if you're not focused and clear on who your ideal client is, how you're structuring and positioning your offers in front of them, your marketing is fragmented, your branding is fragmented, and you're looking for some outside perspective and help, I highly recommend you book a one-on-one brand assessment with me. All the information is down in the description. All you have to do is click the link and go through the motions. And you and I will sit down for 45 minutes to an hour and help you get that clarity and focus, help you get those blind spots removed so you can achieve the goals that you want with your business. So with all that said, I want to share with you a funny story. So I had submitted for an application after reviewing my QuickBooks that I was eligible for another 2 Comma Club award. And when I went to submit my application, I realized that they were a lot more stringent with their qualifications this time around, because my first 2 Comma Club award I got in 2018. And it's been 3 years, really. So when I was putting in the information, I got an email back with several follow-up questions and so on. So it was interesting to see. And then when I asked somebody that belongs to Clickfunnels, what was that all about? And they said, well, there's been some silliness going on, and we want to make sure that we really maintain our integrity of this program. Yeah. So what the hell is a 2 Comma Club award? It's when you have a sales funnel that you've built inside of Clickfunnels. Okay, Clickfunnels is a software, a landing page software that helps you build these funnels so you can generate leads and generate sales online. It's if you have a single funnel, one funnel that brings in over $1 million in revenue. So back in 2018, I had a funnel that generated 1.3 million. And I have another funnel, 2021, that generated a little over $1 million, a little shy of 1.1 million. And so I saw that and I said, I'm going to submit for another one. So I get it. I get the confirmation email. Thanks for showing. I had to show all my bank statements. I had to show the funnel. I had to explain why the funnel does what it does and how it generated that money. So it was a lot of direct contact with the person in charge over there. But the funny part about it was I got this email, was it probably Thursday of last week, from UPS. And I've been getting these shady emails like, oh, you just ordered something in Amazon, and if you have any complications, or you're going to get charged X amount of money on your PayPal. If you want to cancel, call this number or something like that, right? And I call, and it's a spam. It's a scam. So I'm like, Jesus Christ. I says, now they're using UPS, these scumbags, like, right? Like, so I forgot that I submitted the application for the 2 Comma Club award, and the name that shows up on UPS is not Clickfunnels. It's that third party company that actually makes the award, I guess, or ships it out.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to, and then it dawned on me. I was like, oh, it could be the 2 Comma Club award coming in the mail. So it came on Saturday and I was like, oh, okay, there it was. There it is. Right. So that's exactly what a 2 Comma Club awards is. When you have a sales funnel that's generating over $1 million, right? And you can't use the same sales funnel over and over and over again. It has to be a new funnel, right? In order to get another award. Otherwise, let's say one funnel generated 5 million, you could have 5 of these awards on your wall. That's not how they want that to come across, right? So that's what a 2 Comma Club award is. All right. Now, there were some problems that I faced while I was achieving this second award. And one thing that I do want to encourage anybody that's watching live right now, if you have questions or comments about this, please drop them in the comments and I'll field those questions towards the end of the show, or as they come in. Okay. Because I want to keep you guys involved as much as possible. So there was a few.
Before you get started, is that the second?
Yeah. So the backdrop looks a little different now. Now there's two 2 Comma Club awards on the wall. So, all right. So problem number 1 that I faced as I was trying to achieve this second award was I was trying to do way too much inside of my business. Meaning, even though I had a team, I had the team just doing a lot of stuff that wasn't rendering the results that I was looking for. And I kept rolling around in my head, well, if I don't do this, I'm not going to get this. Or if I'm not spending money, I'm not investing in the business. Or why am I not over on this social media platform when there's a potential of a lot of my clients being over there, right? And so I was trying to do too much. I was trying to be on all the platforms. I was trying to create 17 pieces of content a week. And I was getting burnt out. And which led to me thinking about my age. Turned 41 this year. Started to question what I'd be doing in the next 5 years, 6 years. Will I still be doing this kind of work? And I kept second guessing myself. I dealt with a lot of death this year. As we're recording this, it's November 1st, 2021. And I was overwhelmed this year with a tremendous amount of death in my life. Close friends, family members. And I never really dealt with death at this frequency before, ever in my life. So it was tough for me to try to get through all of that and be the best husband, the best father, the best CEO to my team, the best vendor for my clients, because I was scared. I felt like it could be any day that I don't wake up one day. And I was living in this fear that was holding me back a lot. And on top of all of this, beginning of this year, I made some pretty poor investments. I made a commitment for $16,000, another commitment for $10,000 to help me market the business and get some help as far as an entrepreneur goes. And both of those investments I thought were poor because I wasn't I wasn't getting the value that I thought I was going to get, which leads to expectation, right?
Yeah.
Which made me realize that when you expect to get something out of something, chances are you're not. So what I decided to do was, instead of looking at it that way, I said, I appreciate this experience from both these parties, because now I know what I don't want in life. Now I know what I don't want in my business. And I'll leave it at that. So it all felt like over the past 8, and then COVID hits. Right in the middle of me, tearing ass, and things were hot, business was great. COVID hits and everything goes flat, right? I get a little spike last year in business, got me through a few months, but then things started to peter out. And again, all of this compounding. My first thought was, maybe I just fold up shop. Maybe I go get another job, something a little more secure, like a trade, like an operating engineer. Maybe I could run equipment or something like that, where all I have to do is show up, punch the clock, jump on a machine and dig some holes, and then go home at 6. Right. And have that be the rest of my life. Or maybe I should just become a landscaper. My buddy owns a big landscaping company in town. Maybe I just go over to him and ask him if he's looking for work. Cause last time I talked to him, he was hurting for people to work for him. Maybe I just cut lawns with him and do backyard design and stuff like that with him. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you thinking? And not to say that those are bad trades or bad things to do, but it's not me. It wasn't me. I immediately went to the furthest thing from what I was doing currently, right? What could I do that's completely different than Unique Designz, right? And I said I felt like myself going down this slippery slope. And I said, I gotta call Christo. I gotta give Christo a call, get him on the phone, get him on a Zoom and talk to him about this. Cause he's helped me over the past few years, get through some of those limiting beliefs and all of that. Yeah, the head trash. And I said, here's what's going on, dude. And here's what I'm thinking about doing. He goes, I'm telling you right now, dude. He's like, you're going to do it for 2 weeks and regret it. He didn't use those exact words, but he was like, you're just trying to go as far away as what you're doing right now because of fear and all these things that are in your head. I would have you reconsider that before you make any rash decision. And it took some time. It took some time. So here's what I did. Okay. Here's what I did. And please, Awais, interrupt me at any point if you want me to go in a little harder on a certain topic. So the first thing that I really did was I started to narrow my focus. Okay. I started to narrow my focus inside my business and what I really wanted for it. I focused on one core offer, and that is the Brand Accelerator program. Okay. And what I realized was that program had a lot of room for improvement. And that was through client experience. That was just getting feedback from previous clients, getting feedback from professionals in the field and my colleagues. And so I went and I reinvested into building out that offer with a lot more substance and make it much more robust than what it first started out. Right? Peter Butler says here, you're out of focus. Your awards are trying to take over the show. Yeah, I cannot figure out what the hell's going on with the focus today. So just bear with me. I'm going to stay in this frame so it doesn't look as crazy. But when I really started to put all of my focus on making the best of my core offer, things started to get a lot more in focus. And I started to realize that, okay, this program's got legs. This program has helped a lot of people, but it still needs help. It still needs work. So I hired help. Like that was one of the great investments that I made last year, was to get somebody on board that knows how to systemize and really strategically map out a brand strategy process. And he saw the deficiencies on another level, and that helped. Awesome. So it says, since the two awards are side by side, AI is thinking the center space to be the eyes of the human. Oh yeah, maybe. So that was number one, was really a dial in on my focus on my core offer, not trying to do these little one-off projects here and there. And you've heard me talk about this in the past, where, just grab this project for $7 or $8 grand just to keep the money going and the work flowing. No, that's actually a bad idea. It's actually a really bad idea. Yeah. So you don't want to, that was the one thing that I refrained from doing that actually worked out. Second thing that I did was I looked at a lot of my brand assets that I've built over the years and to see what was the second place winner that people really, that client that I sold quite a bit of and that people really enjoyed. And it was the Branding on Demand program. It was having that safety net for people that struggle with the branding part of their business, whether it be the identity part or the strategy part or the marketing part, right? To have a program that wasn't going to be a super expensive program for them, that it felt like a reassurance for them. And I kind of brought that offer back to life a little bit. I mean, Oasis has been in it for 2 freaking years now, over 2 years, right? And I onboarded a couple more clients over the past few months inside of the Branding on Demand program, because I've realized the value in it, and I've been able to articulate that value more. And what I realized was a lot of people are looking for an advisory position in their business, or somebody like my friend Jason, who is looking for some serious help in the design side of things, where he's got the ideas, but he has nobody to help him implement it from a design perspective. So, we're in chats to be working with each other on a contractual basis over the next year, on a more, a more intimate level. So that'll be interesting how that morphs into something. But bringing back the Branding on Demand program for those types of clients that are just looking for consulting, that are just looking for some design help, but not like coming in as a full-time designer for their business, and having that assurance that we're going to do a good job and things are going to be created the way they should.
And I'm going to add some perspective to that branding man. Even though it conveys to me, or it conveys to a lot of people, that it's strictly for branding. But I would say, just like you said, advisory services, I would say it's like beyond that. If you need someone that is much further down ahead in their business, to provide you with some insight, to provide you with some clarity, to provide you with some direction, I think that's where you're coming in and really serving beyond just the branding aspect. I think it narrows down, or it limits the value that you're actually extracting from that particular program. So being able to access that type of a resource, I think, is invaluable for anyone's business.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's why I believe in it so much, because I'm a practitioner of it myself. You know, there's a reason why I meet with Christo so often and frequent, because there's just that part of that camaraderie. There's a part of that perspective that I still need as a business owner. And I truly believe that everybody needs that as a business owner. You know, you're not going to be able to plow through this on your own. And good for Chris for raising his price. I just got the email. He sent me an email that, you know, the prices are no longer valid. I think he's like $1,500 an hour now. But it's worth it for me because, you know, what comes out of those conversations are huge. So, you know, it's worth every penny for me. So I'll continue to do that. So the other thing that I did was I readjusted my price points. Okay. And we were talking earlier, and you asked, you know, to reflect what? Like,
so like, I mean, is it like to your expertise? Is it because your customers that were getting a little confused with the way that you had built out your pricing? Or, and obviously, you know, all of us are now experiencing that change in the marketplace with inflation and supply chain issues, this and that. So it doesn't matter what industry you're in, we're all getting impacted. So, you know, what caused you, and, you know, what was your thought process behind changing your pricing?
So what I realized over the past 18 months or so is my ideal client is that personality brand, right? I still work with small businesses and things like that, but my ideal client, the ones that I get the most joy working with and they get the best results, is the coach, the consultant, the person that has been in business for a few years and is looking to really turn things up, right? And they may have a small little team and they're very boutique right now, and they either want to stay that way or they want to scale, right? But they know that they lack the efficiencies in the branding department, right? So I know that this level of business, because I'm no multi-million dollar agency, I'm not. I understand where they're at because I was once there, right? So there is a threshold that they are willing to spend to make this happen for them, whatever this is or that is. So I became very empathetic to what that threshold was. And it was that $30,000 to $50,000 price range. And so I realized, okay, so if that's my window to provide the most value that I can, what can I deliver for them? What can I create for them? How could I serve them? And I formed I finessed and polished the Brand Accelerator program to handle that capacity, to handle that service offering and that threshold of payment. So basically what I'm trying to say is I readjusted my price points to reflect the threshold that my ideal client was willing to pay. That's it. Bottom line. And I made sure that the value is still there. And in my opinion, it's still cheap compared to what they get at the end, the tangible deliverable, right? Not just the quality design work, but what about the life lessons and the business lessons that come out of the strategy, come out of the workshopping that will help you long after I'm gone.
Exactly.
All right. So, and that's 15 years of experience that I have under my belt, right? Never mind the experience that my design team has. There's over 30 years experience combined with all of those folks.
And the experience that you're bringing in from Chris Do as well, or like any of your trusted advisors that you might be in, right? I mean, I think you're in a peer advisory board yourself. So anything that you're bringing in from a group of people a group of professionals that you've surrounded yourself with, I mean, all of that wisdom is imparted onto your clients. So I think that's the piece that's your differentiator. That's the piece that allows for your clients to kind of walk away with beyond just the design work.
Agreed. So there was a couple other things that I did that helped me get this second 2 Comma Club award. And the one thing was reinvesting in the customer's experience. Okay. It was enhancing that experience that people get when they say, all right, Henry, I'm coming on board. I'm sending you the wire. I'm booking my first call. Now what? I spent a tremendous amount of time finessing what those clients are going to experience over the next 60 to 90 plus days. And so that they know that they are in good hands, as if they were family members. And that I have their best interests in mind, and that they know that what's coming up next, first, second, third, fourth, and they're never in the dark. They're never questioning, oh, where am I? What should I be doing now? They're always well-informed. So a well-informed customer experience. I focused on that. I paid a lot of attention to that. I went through my program myself and felt the dips that needed to be plugged, or the leaks that needed to be plugged. And I plugged them. And now it's a much different experience than, say, 2-3 years ago. Okay. Another thing I did was I cut a lot of fat out of my business, and I cut a lot of fat out of my life. Not only physically, I am down 26 pounds, and I've kept this weight off for over a year. So I'm really excited and proud of that. I've never kept this amount of weight off for this amount of time. So I feel healthier. I have a lot more energy. I could probably lose another 5 pounds if I wanted to. But I feel really good at where I'm at right now. Clothes are fitting me better, and I just feel good in my body, which is fantastic, right? So that's physically cut the weight. But here's some other things that I did. I got rid of a lot of silly admin tasks that I was assigning my team and my project manager, just things that just were unnecessary. Like I could easily do them, and it wouldn't bother my quality of life at all. I think I got a little too what's the word? I got a little too lax, maybe a little too, I'll just have the admin do it. No, you can do that, Henry. And it's not gonna, it's not gonna hurt your day. Yeah. And so I started to do some of that, and I realized like some of that stuff I still enjoy. Like I'll give you a quick example. Like I was having my team design the thumbnails for the YouTube channel and for the podcast. And I was like, you know what? I still like designing. I'm not going to design big, heavy projects, but I like doing that. So I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
So every week I'm designing the thumbnails for the YouTube still. And I enjoy doing it. Like I just enjoy doing it. Right. I learned a quicker way to create carousels on Instagram using PowerPoint. So I started doing more of that instead of assigning that out. I still have the team do a lot of the heavy lifting over there with the design showcase carousels, but like some of the text-based carousels, I've learned how to pump those out like in 10 minutes on PowerPoint. Yeah. So I do them now. So that's what I mean by getting rid of some of the admin tasks and taking some of that on, because I do have more time in my life and I just want to do what I love to do. And some of that stuff is that, okay? I focused on my platform strategy for marketing, okay? And I put a lot of emphasis on my podcast, because that platform I've been doing for over 5 years. I feel really comfortable here. And it's just something that I really, really enjoy. And I was able to expand that and be able to do live streams and stuff like this simultaneously. So it's no extra work, right? But I really focused on my core platform strategy, which is podcasting. And I cut out everything else. Okay. And I'm going to do the best I can for YouTube. I'll do the best I can on LinkedIn, but that's not my core focuses. Core focuses is creating a really great podcast that's enjoyable to listen to and entertaining and informative and helpful. Okay. As far as getting rid of some other physical things in my life, as I get older, I become more confident and comfortable in my skin. And I realize that I do not need material things to show how successful I am. And you've heard me say this before, but it's a point to bring it back. So I sold off a lot of my watch collection, realizing that Rolexes are in such a demand right now. I could probably get a sweet dollar for them all. So I kept one of my favorites, but I got rid of all the rest, which put almost a year's salary in the bank for me, which is a huge breath of fresh air. Not that I need the money, but hey, what a cushion. Right? So that's there. Got rid of my truck, downsized. I got another nice truck, but it's not a Range Rover. I got one of those Yukons, the 2021 Yukons. Oh my God, this truck has more stuff in it and it's cheaper and it's more comfortable and my family loves it. And man, I got so excited to get this truck. And it's not a status symbol, right? It's not a status symbol anymore. And it gave me a peace of mind. It gave me a peace of mind that you don't need this stuff anymore, Henry. You're never going to get ahead by worrying about status possessions. All right. Another thing I did was I maintained my mentorship. What does that mean? I focused heavily on my board of directors in my life, not just my business, but my therapist I brought on board. I have a mindset coach. You may say, Henry, that's a bit overkill. You have a therapist and a mindset coach. Yeah, they both work in two different ways that are really helpful for me. Chris Doe obviously is part of my board. My man Mo Ishmael, he's part of my board. I use him on demand when I need help with social strategy and things like that. Awesome additions to the people that my board of advisors, if you will, and really helped me stay on track and not give up. I could have threw in the towel a few months ago and became a freaking landscaper and cut lawns for the rest of my life because it was easy. But there was something that was telling me, no, you're not done. You're not done yet. Okay. So there's a few other things that I did that I'm just conscious of time and that I want to get these out. But one thing I also started to do, not only with my clients, but with my team and in my personal life, was I began being more direct with people and asking the question, why? And not being afraid to ask the tougher questions. Like, when you're on a sales call and somebody gives you some bullshit excuse and you kind of glaze it over because you don't want to go there, and you kind of wipe it under the rug and you sugarcoat your response and you get on with the conversation and obviously you don't close the deal, but it just kind of goes away. I don't do that anymore. Like when somebody has an objection, like I had one the other week, like how many doctors have you worked with in the past? And instead of me saying, well, none, and oh, just a couple, and starting to defend myself, I'm like, why do you ask? Why do you ask? Why does it matter how many doctors I've worked with in the past? And if you want to hire a firm that just specializes in doctors, then go right ahead, because they're probably going to give you everything else that they've given the other past doctors. So if you really want to be look like everybody else and sound like everybody else, by all means, go hire that company.
I love that explanation.
Right. And 2-3 years ago, I would never entertain that conversation. I would never entertain that dialogue. I would get all defensive and clam up and be like, oh, forget it. They got me. I'm done. Now I go right back at them. And I'm not afraid. And that just, again, comes with experience and comes with time. Everybody could do it if they focus on it and practice it. The other thing I did to get this second 2 Comma Club award that I don't want to miss is I didn't focus on just hitting the number. Like, I just got to get to 1 million and I'm done. I didn't focus on the number. I focused on the confidence level of my clients. So there were several assessment calls where I said to the client or the prospect, I'm not going to bring you on board into this program or any of my programs if you are not confident in your decision making about this program. Because in this program, you're going to have to make some tough decisions. And if you're not working on a level of confidence that's needed, chances are you're going to make some poor decisions, especially if it's the last $36,000 to your name and you're going to feel like you're on eggshells the entire time. So yeah, I focused on the confidence level of the client. Changes the game. And I'm very vocal about that too. And I focused on the customer experience. So I'm not worried, guys, about how much. I said this the other day. I said, listen, however this program gets paid, I'm not too concerned about. As long as the payment terms make sense to you and me, I wouldn't get too caught up in that. My biggest concern is that you're confident in this investment and it doesn't feel like you're spending your last nickel. And I've been flexible with payment terms over the past few years. Not past few years, past few months, I meant. And it closed jobs, and it still made sense for us all to work together. But I didn't get caught up. Well, if you don't have the money, forget it. Or no, we'll make it work. But here's some guidelines. Here's some non-negotiables. Like, you can't come into this program and bail after 3 weeks or 4 weeks or come up with some shit excuse like, oh, I can't move forward anymore. No. And there's terms in my promise agreement that clearly state if you try to bail on this program, that there will be penalty to it. Never had anybody bail. I put that policy in place 2 years ago. That was the last time anyone bailed. Never had anyone bail since. So listen, I don't want anybody coming into this program that's not going to graduate and win. Because that's a reflection of me. That's a reflection of my work. Why are these people failing after coming through this program? Yeah. I don't want that. I'd rather not have you at all. So I got very, very clear with that. And it's working. It's working. So moving forward, what am I doing? Well, I've already set course for 2 Comma Club number 3. And I'm already setting those goals and setting those milestones and benchmarks. And if I don't make them, it's not the end of the world, but it's at least something to focus towards. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm doing things that make me happy. If it means in the middle of the day, I'm going to go out and play fetch with my dog for 15, 20 minutes because it breaks up my work day. It will be scheduled and it will be done. Period. But my life is way too short. Our lives, not just mine, our lives are way too short to be doing shit that we hate doing or not wanting to do. So that was the last conversation I had with Chris. He said, bro, if you're not doing things that bring you joy, don't do them. And that was it. I was like, I'll take that word as bond. And you got my word on that. You got my promise on that.
Amen. Amen.
Right? The other thing I did was I really believed in myself, and I really believed my worth, and I really believed the value in my program and what it does for people, not only psychologically, but aesthetically for their business. And I truly believed in it. And that comes across in my conversations about it. When I talk about it, I'm very passionate about it. I'm very happy about it. Because I truly believe in it. I think there's a lot of people pushing programs out now just to make a quick buck. They don't really believe in it. So, yeah, vision. I think Michelle says here, focus on what brings you joy. I love this. And ain't that the truth? Life is too short. Yeah. And then I want to wrap up today with a quote that is from one of my favorite songs from the new Nas album, King's Disease 2. And the name of the song's Composure. And right at the end of the song, this guy is kind of talking in the background. And one of the quotes he says is, what you believe about yourself means everything. And what others believe about you means nothing. So I posted this on Instagram today, and I had one of my colleagues reach out and comment, and she said, does it mean anything if I believe in you? And she put like a smiley face. And I know what she meant, but I had to give her the real answer. And the answer is no. It doesn't mean anything to me. Because if I don't believe it, it ain't getting done. I need to believe it. I need to believe it. So it doesn't matter what you think, good or bad. I need to believe it. So that is, my friends, how I got 2 Comma Club Award number 2. I could have easily said, you know what? I'm out. I'm getting too old for this shit. This isn't for me anymore. I'm cut out. I'm not cut out for this stuff anymore. But I said, no, this is your life's work, my friend. The universe is telling you got much more to go. And so here we are at the starting line again. At the starting line again. So, little piece of advice: when you win in life, it could be the smallest win or the biggest win. Do a couple of things. Make sure you take the time to celebrate that win with the people that you love. Like Saturday, we went out to dinner and enjoyed a beautiful, beautiful dinner. But don't rest too long on that win. Make sure that you set another goal right away. And make sure that this goal is a little bit bigger than your last goal. And get to work. So that's it, my friends. Appreciate all you guys. I see Elizabeth Perez in the house. I see Michelle Hill in the house. I see the other Michelle in the house. Peter Butler popped in. Appreciate all you guys for joining us live today. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was of today's conversation. If you have any questions that maybe you wanted to ask and you'd rather ask them privately, feel free to shoot me an email or a DM, and make sure you subscribe to this podcast, and you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you continue to follow my journey. There's going to be a lot more that I'm going to be learning that I'm going to pass down to you, of course. And there's a lot that you could learn from somebody that is taking you along the ride with him as he continues to grow and expand and build his personal brand. So have an amazing, amazing day, everybody. And I'll catch you on the next one real soon. Take care.